All right, so with the big playoffs coming up for MLS, these are my predictions right here. Let's go.
Ain't been tight, never known curfews. Sunday night quiet, I ain't even out my church shoes. I done been wide, premarital guessing perfumes. Psycho in a lot, they keep asking me who hurt you. Traded for diapers, ain't that some shit? You think buying beers and pacifiers made me a pacifist? There's a list of asses that I like to whip in this timeline.
Hey, yo, what's up? Welcome to Sports World Talk Soccer, where we talk the world of soccer, a.k.a. football, a.k.a. the beautiful game. And we got a big weekend coming up with MLS as the playoff starts heating up a little bit more. And I look forward to watching some definitely good games, but I already have my winners, of course. Now, as the playoffs have went along after the big long break, the week or two break or whatnot, it definitely heated up, and it was an unexpected loss for me as a LAFC fan because I actually had them get into the finals and everything like that. But, hey, things changed. Vancouver changed that for sure. But we got some other good games coming up on the western side and the eastern side. On the western side, we do have Vancouver versus San Diego. Now, San Diego is the new team, the new kid on the block and everything like that, and they're definitely a team that has been consistent all year. But they're the new team. You know, they are new to this whole playoff thing and everything. I think where it will be a good game. I think, going against Vancouver, you do have, some good veteran leadership and everything like that. Will Thomas Mueller play? Will he won't play? I know he had a hamstring problem and everything like that. I'm pretty sure I feel like he will. Because, his first time in the playoffs with MLS, his first time going this, situation with Vancouver. I don't see him missing that. I feel like him being this close to a possible championship in his first few months with MLS, I feel like he's going to definitely try to pull it out and definitely get that. But I definitely think it's going to be a good match. I got it 2-1. 2-1 Vancouver. Now, part of me wants to go switch over to San Diego because, like I said, they've been consistent all year. They have been, one of the top teams on the Western Conference all year long. Their play, but like I said, just the experience as far as in these situations as a collective group, I feel Vancouver may get it. Just based off of the leadership that they have and everything like that. I just feel like they have the edge. Seeing how they played against LAFC as well. They dominated the first half. LAFC came back, ended up going to penalties, and unfortunately, Sung Heung-min missed that first one. But, hey, I'm sure he's going to come back next year even stronger. But that's my pick from that one. I do have Vancouver winning that in the Western Conference, going to the finals against who? Now, a lot of people know I'm a little bit biased. We do have Inter Miami versus New York. Inter Miami versus New York FC, New York City FC. And I definitely think that it will be a better game than the last game that they played, which I think Inter Miami blew the roof off on them. But I definitely see them have the NYFC playing a lot better than they played before. They are a team that's trying to get their fans ready for that new stadium, and what better way just to continue growing, to continue building this team up and everything. I definitely think that they have a lot of potential in the future. But right now, of course, I have Inter Miami winning this. I think Inter Miami, like I said, they have played my favorite game I've seen them play in quite some time. I'm a big advocate of getting our young guys playing consistent. That's the main thing, consistency. And with Mateo, Allende, the last game, how they looked with Messi, I was like, wow. And I was very impressed, you know what I mean? And it led to the question that I actually asked before of, should Suarez come off the bench? He has the IQ, he has the knowledge, the capability of giving that knowledge to these players and everything like that. But there are times where the physical possibilities of doing certain things that he's used to doing is not there, he even in that game when he did come in, he had a kick that I was like, what was that? What kind of kick was that, bro? You know what I mean? But I definitely think it may be time to make that switch. You know, to have him come off the bench, to have that veteran leadership of him, in these young guys' ears, having him being that, that supporting catalyst and everything like that of like, hey, come on, let's get this. Hey, this is what I see out there. This is why you can do better. I think that'd be very important. And it was like one of my favorite games from Inter Miami in quite some time because I got to see that. I got to see the growing potential stars and what we have, stepping up. You know what I mean? And I know some people say that Mateo's not going to be in Inter Miami long. Why? Why? I hate the notion of like we get players just to sell them. I don't know. I come from, of course, American basketball, football, and stuff like that, to where we have a talent. We are keeping that talent for 10, 15 years. You know what I mean? So that's the notion that I come from. I'm not a big advocate of like, all right, let's get them and build them up to sell them. I don't like that, being honest. If I like a player, like I think he's like 19, 20 years old, if I like him, I see potential, I'm locking him down as long as possible I can. And so far, I think he has that potential. I think he has the potential to be that guy even after Messi retires. You want a face of your franchise. I feel like you have one grooming possibly right there. Of course, we got to see a little bit more out of him. But I think the possibility is there. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, I am trying to keep him as long as I can as far as Inter Miami. Like I said, I just hate the notion of like, oh yeah, just ship him over to Europe and everything like that. That's stupid to me. You know what I mean? I know people are like, well, you're holding him back from playing against this. If I am a owner, I'm trying to make my team be the best team possible. If I see this potential in this young player, I am putting everything I can of making this guy the face of my team. If he has that true potential, which everyone thinks he does, if he has that, then I'm making him the face of my team. I'm making him as big as possible. Of course, like I said, people look down on MLS and stuff like that. But like I said, I do feel MLS is at a turning point. They just gotta flip it, kind of like the calendar switch. They're doing things, setting themselves up to be more respected in the soccer global world. So we just got to see them do it. I definitely think if you keep him in Inter Miami, there will be a situation where you would have him being one of the top players in MLS, one of the top respected players globally. I'm just saying. I may be biased, but yeah, I have Inter Miami winning that game. Maybe 3-2. Probably 3-2. Because if they keep that same lineup, if Inter Miami keeps that same lineup, they keep that same consistent play they have, I feel that they will continue their dominating. It could be 3-1, but I give them 3-2 because I do want it to be competitive at the same time. Because last time they played in New York, I was like, it's all right. It was, Inter Miami won by a lot. But I do see these two teams, as a consistent team in the Eastern Conference as far as being, at this playoff possibility. And like I said, with Inter Miami, what better way? I think the motivation for the whole team and the club should be, hey, we're bringing in a new stadium next year. What better way to bring that stadium in to hang, I'm not sure they hang banners or whatever like that, but to have the trophy open the ceremony at the first home game or whatever, I think that'd be dope. You know what I mean? To bring that new stadium in right, and you got the Eastern Conference Championship and the I'm tripping. Eastern Conference Championship and the MLS Cup. I feel what better way to bring that stadium in? I feel like this is almost a story being written right now. You know what I mean? Call me biased. Hey, it is what it is. But I do have Inter Miami meeting Vancouver in the championship for the MLS Cup. Who will be the winner? I don't know. I do know. But we'll talk about that another time. Let me know, what are your picks? Do you agree as far as Inter Miami going to the MLS Championship Finals? Do you agree with Vancouver going? What are your thoughts? Let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's go.
If it's There's a list of asses that I like to whip in this timeline.